We're continuing to place fractions on the number line. As you can tell by our learning intention, thoughtful mathematicians practice placing various fractions on the number line. So again, we've seen these vocabulary words for a few times now, so go ahead and pause, read these to yourself. And pause again to read the rest of these vocabulary words to yourself. Right, so we're going to locate and label the following fractions on the number line. So I have 20 fourths, 13 fourths, and 23 fourths. So these are all fractions greater than 1 or improper fractions because the numerator is greater than the denominator. So in order to do this, I know these are all fourths, so I'm going to split all these wholes into fourths. So from 3 to 4, I'm going to have split in the middle and then break this up here. So fourths there, middle, and then 2 more to make fourths, and then finally in the middle, and 2 more to make fourths. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have my fourths, and between all of my holes, right, each hole has 4 equal parts to represent fourths. Now I want to start at 3 holes. How much would that be in fourths so that I can place all these other fractions on here? So well, I know that 3 holes is 12 fourths for 2 reasons. One, because 4 fourths is 1 whole, and 3 holes would be 3 times as much. 4 times 3 is 12, so 12 fourths. Also, if I think of fractions as division, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I'm starting with 12 fourths. Next would be 13 fourths, 14 fourths, 15 fourths, 16 fourths. So it's my next hole. So I'm not going to do the rest because I don't want to label everything. That'll just take too long. But I do want to label my hole so that way I have like a benchmark to look at. So I'm noticing from 12 fourths to 16 fourths, which is 3 holes to 4 holes, I went up by 4. So I'm just going to add 4 to 16 to see what my next hole would be. 16 plus 4 is 20 fourths. And again, I know that is correct because if I think of fractions as division, 20 divided by 4 is 5. And that means that 6 holes is going to be 24 fourths. So now I'm ready to place these fractions on my number line. So I'm going to start with 20 fourths. That's my first number that I'm trying to find. 20 fourths. I already see that it's right here. So I know 20 fourths is right here. I'm going to label it 20 fourths. Then I need 13 fourths. I already labeled that as well. 13 fourths. So I'm going to lay that under here. And lastly, 23 fourths. Well, this is 20 and this is 4. So, I'm going to go back 1. This should be 23 fourths. So, and I'm going to double check, go up from 20 to make sure. 21, 22, 23 fourths. So yes, this is in fact 23 fourths. Let me go ahead and mark it with my points on my number line. So I have 20 fourths here, 13 fourths here, and 23 fourths right here. I've located and labeled the fractions on the number line. So let's try one together. If you do not have the materials you need, please pause now. Grab what you need to solve with me and copy and do as I do. So if you're not ready, please pause now, get your materials, and draw this number line here. Alright, welcome back. If you haven't already, again, please pause now. Get your things ready and draw this number line with 2, 3, and 4 across it, starting at 2, halfway through 3, and then at the end 4 holes. Okay, let's begin. So we have 2 holes, 3 holes, 4 holes, and we're representing thirds here in these fractions. So we're going to split these into 3 equal parts between each hole. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to do 2 partitions to make 3 equal parts. Same thing over here, 2 partitions to make 3 equal parts. So now we have thirds on this side and thirds on this side for each hole. How much would 2 wholes be in thirds? Remember, 1 whole is 3/3. So 2 wholes is 6/3. And if we keep going with that pattern, 1 whole is 3/3, 2 wholes is 6/3. Keep moving in that same pattern. 3 wholes is 9/3. So go ahead and write these down for our wholes: 6/3, 9/3, and that means that 4 wholes would be 12/3. I know I'm right because if I keep thinking of fractions as division, 6 divided by 3 is 2, 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we're ready to place these fractions on the number line. So I want you to go ahead and place these fractions on your number line. And when you're ready, please press play to check your work. So again, pause now. Go ahead and place these fractions on your number line and press play when you're ready. All right, welcome back. So you should have started with 11/3. So that goes right here. I'm changing my color just so that you can clearly see where it goes. 11/3. Now I know this goes here because this is 9, 10, 11, or if I go back from 12, 1 less is 11/3. 6/3. We already did that one together. We can go ahead and label it 6/3. And then lastly, 8/3. If I start from 6, 7/3, 8/3, this is 8/3. Right, so I want you to try this last one. You're going to locate and label the following fractions on the number line. We're going by halves. So between each whole, you're going to split them each into halves to represent halves. This one's a little easier. We're starting at 0, so you don't have to worry about what each whole is because you can start at 0 and count on. So go ahead and pause now and press play when you're ready to check your work. Again, pause now, please. Solve independently. Press play when you're ready. All right, welcome back. So I'm not going to label my wholes just yet. I'm going to split these into halves to know for sure that I have all my equal parts. So 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves. So I have all my halves. So I'm going to start with 0. 0 in halves is 0 halves. 1 whole in halves is 2 halves. Right? 2/2. Numerators are the same. That means it's a whole. Double that would be 4 halves. Right? Because 2 is double 1. And then triple that for 3 wholes would be 6 halves. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 0 divided by 2 is 0. So we're good to go. Now, we're ready to label these fractions. So if we want to start with 1 half, where would that go? Well, 0 halves, 1 half, right here. Perfect. Very first thing we see. 1 half. Now we want to label 4 halves. We already labeled that. That goes right here. We want to label it here just to be safe, to be sure. And then 5 halves. Well, if this is 4 halves, 1 more half would give me 5 halves. 1 more half. So we've labeled 1 half, 4 halves, 5 halves. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me on Schoology or Hangouts. Bye, guys.